Welcome to Risk On, episode 38, featuring Sat, Swizzle, Soju, the man himself from Meteora, brought to you by FOMO, best multi-chain trading experience on chain. Sign up today. Use promo code RISKON for 10% off of your trading fees. Join us all there. Trade all of your favorite base AI tokens, Solana shitters, even Bitcoin. You could have bought the dip on Bitcoin yesterday on FOMO. So I know I did. I didn't do it on FOMO, but I did it. And it was a little scary. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, tough market. Yeah, I just said before the show. Obviously in a tough position on Solana. I averaged down as you do. And I am underwater and I am uncomfy, but that's the way of the road sometimes. Hopefully everyone else is doing better than I am, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're not alone. I think a lot of us started buying the dip 2 days ago, and then the dip kept dipping, and then it was like at first I was excited. I started buying Bitcoin at 70ish or so on Wednesday. And then by 60K yesterday, I was starting to feel a little bit spooked. So I liked feeling spooked because I feel like I shouldn't feel so scared. I shouldn't feel so happy to get dips. But yeah, Swizzle, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, tough day. You know it's a problem when some of your good friends in the space, unprovoked out of nowhere, you get a DM. In this case, it was Wood. I get a DM. Hey, you hanging in there? That's how you know you're overexposed, and no, you're probably not in a good spot. So I think part of this was Wood knew exactly like the specific reason I was emotional and struggling was like my ZEC position, and definitely overweighted, oversized. And I think the tough thing was like you always hear this commentary about not being an emotional trader, right? And like having these clear lines and clear stops. Well, the tough thing is when I feel like psychologically all of a sudden a day like yesterday happens, and any type of support levels or resistance or whatever, the lines of what's rational or not change, because unfortunately like I had been buying the dip down, and like if you looked at all the indicators, like $200 was like a support level for ZEC. It was basically like if it breaks that, it's over, right? Like there's just air below there. So when I saw it lose 200, I was like, it was an objective decision that was also very emotional. I was very emotional as I did it, but I was like, I have to cut. I don't want to, but I have to cut, because that's where I said if it loses that, then I have to cut. So I did, and I told Wood, and it was in an emotional state. I was like, man, I know I just sold the Pico capitulation bottom candle of ZEC, and I don't care. I'm just happy to be out.
Exactly
wake
what
up
you
and
said,
it bounced. Wake up and it bounced 18%, guys. So
wow,
that's it's one of those days that you wake up and just feel great, So
yeah. I think emotionally yesterday is really, really hard. Soju, you're a trader too, I assume.
I don't trade as much as you guys, but I did wake up to Matt being down 20% and having a panic attack. My first thought was that we did something wrong, and then I checked the rest of the market, and I was like, oh, the rest of the market is down more than Matt. I was like, okay.
Nice. That's a win, right?
We didn't fuck up. Like I was worried that we had something went wrong somewhere, like the technology broke or something, but we were good.
Oh my God!
In the trenches we call that being relative strength, men. So all you got to do is don't be sad that your coin is down. Just be happy it's down less than the others. That's a win.
I'm just happy nothing is broken. Like, honestly, most
man,
of the time.
Seriously, that's so funny. Like we don't even think in that mindset. Like I'm sure you've woken up to something being broken before, and the
Many
token
times.
knew. Can you give us an example of one of those where you've been scared shitless and had to fix something ASAP?
I think the one that was scared the most shit years was the day Mango got hacked.
Mango, yeah.
Yeah, because that was like that one scared me shit years. Like that was the one that was really like F.
Yeah.
We should all be scared. Yeah, that's the one that
Oh.
bothers me sometimes.
Yeah, that was terrifying. I can only imagine, man. Like, especially with like, your product is so widely used in the space, and plays such a pivotal role across the
Yeah.
Solana ecosystem. And then obviously having a token attached to it, anything that's happening in real time is reflected in the price of your token constantly.
Exactly.
So you're constantly under stress and
Yeah,
under why token go up or go down.
what I realized is that I actually can't trade because whenever markets are moving, I'm more worried about like treasury management, success rates on my platform, volume and fees than I am worried about my own PA. But yesterday, the first time in a very long time, I was like, okay, maybe I should buy some bitcoins. I bought some. Yeah.
Oh wow, you thinking this is a point to buy the dip then? Am I in? I feel like maybe I'm in safe hands with you.
I don't know. We'll all find out together, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, man, we're in a worrying spot. We're in a troubling spot. But I feel like Bitcoin's up 10% on the day. That's comforting.
Yeah, it's very nice that everything below in this bar is like positive 20%, 10%,
Yeah.
8%. I have no idea what time horizon that is. Is that like 12 hours or something? That's not one day, right?
I think it resets in the morning, so I think it's since midnight. That would be my guess because stuff is not up that much.
Yeah.
We like to spread positivity on our tickers, so we just put green and plus signs next to all the
You
numbers.
must have, yeah, if you had told me these numbers are off the bottom tick, I would have believed you.
Yeah, man, that's hard. Wait, did Zek bounce 20% off the bottom then?
Sure did.
Man, holy
Sure
shit.
did, and I sold
Sure
it.
did.
Sold it 200.
Oh Jesus.
People hiding out in hype are, probably going to be rotating into Zek soon, into my bag soon.
Yeah, Swizzle, I remember we've been here before. We've been here before when you sold the Solana. Yeah, you remember this?
Yeah. But I do also remember it ended up going lower, much lower than where I sold.
Yeah,
so
you sold it. You sold it 125.
I don't wish that for people, but I have a sneaking suspicion we're not quite out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
Same here. So, Soju, question. So things like, market is tanking. You have a business to run. Prices don't matter. What's like, like generally speaking, like what is your, if we slip into a bear market, a deeper bear market, let's say Solana goes to $50, how does that change like how you think of your business today and like the things you're doing, or is there no change in what you're shipping and building out? Are you price agnostic?
Well, for one, prices definitely matters to everybody building businesses in this industry.
Yeah.
Especially trading volume. But I think what got me to today is that I actually stopped having a very strong sense of the prices. I stopped letting it affect us. What I'll probably end up doing if a bear market hits is I'll probably invest in long-term R&D. So there's like two phases, right? There's like the phase where you like develop core infra technology that will take 6 months to 1 year to roll out. But when they do, you improve things like 10x, 20x. There's also the phase of like rapidly shipping, like the market is hot, your users ask for A, you ship it in like 12 hours. Your users ask for B, you ship it in 12 hours. So what my team will probably end up doing is to go back to the deep research stuff. It's been a while since we did that, honestly. But I think Meteora's technology is quite far ahead. So even if the market is hot for another 2 years, we will still be like number one in tech. Yeah. So not too worried.
Gotcha, cool. And then you recently launched a new product, right? Bedrock. Can you give our listeners like a little quick summary of what that is before we dive into some more questions on it?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to look at what Bedrock is that Bedrock isn't a product. Bedrock is a company, a joint venture between a DeFi team, which is us, and another team, which is Govern. The reason why we work with Govern is that Govern is a leader technology firm in crypto. So for example, Initial uses them for like the incorporation, TG, terms and conditions. Basically, the idea is that if you can form a team who is both the best in DeFi and the best in regulations, clarity add, tokenization, we can form a special task force that can solve the problems that plague crypto. Which, if you ask me, one of the biggest problems that plague crypto right now is token holder rights. Like, I'm trying to make tokens exciting to hold and trade again. There's there are few very established coins like Zcash or like Solana, L1s. You all understand them. They have network effects. They have transaction fees. But outside of that, like almost nothing is investable. So that's what that's what I'm hoping Bedrock will solve. One way or another, we'll just make tokens great again. Whatever great looks like.
Yeah. So you think the number one token or the number one problem is like token holder rights? So I guess like that brings into question like the token equity conversation, and like a lot of people saying like tokens are objectively worthless right now in terms of equity. Is that a problem you're trying to solve with Bedrock?
Yes, precisely. I think let's face it, everyone wants to trade equity. Everyone wishes that tokens function exactly like equity. Bedrock is a task force that is designed to solve this problem. So this task force, so one of the things I want to do with this task force is that we will help you do everything. If you want to launch your own company, if for example, if you want to turn Risk On podcast into a real like company, launch a coin, we'll incorporate it for you, we'll handle all the constitution for you, shareholder agreement, everything. But we will also add in the token element done for you. Similar to how Pump Fund democratized the launching of a token, we want to democratize launching a company around anything that you're doing. Yeah.
So would you say like probably going forward in like 2026? I know you mentioned like you wanted to speak about 2026 plans and that. Would you say like ICM and like the capital markets industry, I guess, and that the whole terminology is like a big like thesis going into 2026 for you guys?
Yeah, I think 2025 for Meteora was a lot of like ICM stuff. I want to make tokens great again because I want people to trade tokens. So whatever that you like will be whatever I will do at Bedrock. Yeah.
A lot of people like I would say we had someone from Mazzari on, Joe, and he was talking about how Meteora is one of the most undervalued tokens in the space, as in like how much revenue you guys do to compare to like what the token actual value is. Why do you think that is, and why do you think that's a common thing within a lot of these crypto projects? Do you just think it's like people still favor memes over revenue still, and it's like like a long-term holder thing or something else?
Yeah, I think the answer is a bit more complicated than that. I think the reason is actually no, the answer is a bit more simple than that. The reason is because we have an extremely high circulating float. So if you look at other tokens, right, they will lock the investors up, they'll lock everybody up. The amount of tokens on the market is like 2%, 3%. So it sort of trades wherever people want it to trade because small retail buyers can move the market. What we see with Meteora is that because we unlocked all investors out day one, we have 20-30% circulating supply, and you really need lots of like capital to properly price Meteora. Which is why Meteora is also a leading player in like investor relations, tokenization, trying to build up like large firm liquid fund interest in the token, which is why we and Blockworks are good friends because we spend a lot of money on Blockworks.
Do you wish you did that differently at launch? Do you wish you structured it differently?
Nah, I think it's perfect. I think only time will tell. But I think I want to do things that make sense over the long term. So I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. One thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately, at least, there's been so much like negativity surrounding crypto. I don't know if you saw what Kyle Samani tweeted yesterday and then deleted. Did you, Soju?
I saw that, yeah.
Basically saying crypto is worthless and everything that could be built has already been built. What is like some optimism, I guess, from your angle to counteract that? Like, obviously you're a builder in this space. You plan to keep building. You're building here for the long term. You have a product that requires people to trade tokens, right? You need more tokens. You need people to want to trade tokens here. What is like an optimistic take to kind of counteract his deleted tweet that like from your angle, and why you think that like it's worth it to keep building for you guys?
I mean, precisely why Bedrock, right? The tokens in the current form are absolute trash, and Meteora is going to spend a lot of time trying to fix that. But I think there's also there's also two structural forces at play. One is that private companies and private markets are actually getting more restrictive and concentrating more capital into a few players. So, for example, the average valuation of IPO has increased like dramatically, and like when we're talking about SpaceX IPO, Anthropic IPO, OpenAI IPO all at $1 trillion. So that barrier of entry is doing a lot higher for retail investors and actually retail founders. While on the other hand, the barrier to start your own company is dropping exponentially. We have a lot of one-man founder companies powered by armies of AI agents, right? So I think because of how these two markets are moving, there's a huge market opportunity, which is how do you have a permissionless environment where any one man founder can raise capital for any small group of like retail holders, and then try to deliver something with outsized impact. The the VC plus IPO markets cannot solve this problem at all, but that's a problem that we can solve because any of these one man founders can spin up a bunch of agents, launch a token, give out 50% of equity for the token, and then be like publicly traded day one, extremely low valuation. Anyone with a Phantom wallet can or FOMO app can even buy the token. Like that's what I want to do. I think there's a huge structural shift, and I have Bedrock to actually bridge the gap. Yeah.
Do you think that's a interesting way to think of the future? And I didn't really think about it like that, but like, yeah, a one-man company with, I guess, multiple agents as employees. Yeah, I guess that is what we're heading towards.
Yeah, I think we're heading towards the average size of a company dropping exponentially. Yeah, a lot more self-employed people. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already saw. I think we saw this week or last week Amazon laid off like 25% of staff. I think Meta did as well. I guess it's only a trend that continues, and usually means stocks go up when these dramatic layoffs happen. But it's like, yeah, I'm worried for a lot of my friends who are doing computer science degrees, man. Like, where does that leave them?
Do you think that that's a real fear, though? You know, someone was saying this yesterday to me. It was like in the 60s or 70s, people saw the computer coming and they freaked the fuck out, and like everything was fine. Like, is AI just going to be the same thing? We're going to pivot. It'll be a tough few years, and then eventually, like, we'll just pivot to doing different jobs, and we'll be fine.
But you also need, like, even if like all this vibe code and AI tools get better, like there's still going to be a strong place for people with those backgrounds who can, you know, they might be more adept at prompting or just verification and double checking work. But I don't think that I don't know. I'll let Soju speak on it from experience, but like I think that makes those people more valuable, not less valuable.
I agree. So like out of the 25% of people that Amazon laid off, half of them can become one-man founders solving one small problem with AI, and then another half of them can launch a coin that will probably represent that company worth $5 to $10 million, and then half of them will probably get acquired back by Amazon to feed a problem that they had.
And they will all launch Meteora pools, right?
They were all launched using Bedrock.
But
that's the idea. The idea is that in the AI-driven world, creativity matters more than doing the hard work. So you see a lot more entrepreneurs, you see a lot more Mark Zuckerbergs going out there and changing the world with random ideas. And ultimately, the VC market almost can't keep up with that. Like the VC market is not ready for like 1 million one-man founders trying something. But we are ready because that's what meme coins are.
Yeah, you certainly are ready. One big concern, I guess, in the ICM meta that I'm just curious about your opinion is, you know, you'll see guys like raise money via token, right? And the good thing about being a private company is that you're not subjected to constant like token price issues. Like, you know, with Met, people are like, what the fuck is wrong with the token price? Why is it not going up? You're a one-man founder, you launch a token to raise some money, and all of a sudden, everything you do is being priced constantly, which I imagine is kind of an issue. Do you view it that way at all?
I think it's definitely an issue. So a few ways I want to solve this is that I want to make people who invest based on fundamentals rich, and people who invest based on mimetic power comparatively less rich, so that the founders who actually care about fundamentals will do well. And in my opinion, it's also a form of a broken system. Like, if you look at the Bats AI coins, you sort of needed the founder to keep championing what they're building, because them championing what they're building is what gives the coin value. But if we can reach a Bedrock powered world where the fundamentals variation of the company is what gives the token value, then you almost want to yell at the founder on Twitter to get off Twitter and start and keep writing code or getting more users. Like if we reach that world, then I would consider it perfect. But right now, it's a symptom of a flawed system. Like we have to bet the bets app founders to keep tweeting about it, because if we stop tweeting about it, there's no more new eyeballs, there's no more new people buying the coin, so the coin doesn't go up.
Yeah, it's actually it's tough because like we had not that long ago we had a podcast around when gas token was blowing up.
Yeah.
And it was like he stopped tweeting for a few days and the token went to zero, and that's how the market prices it in right now. It's like the tech might be cool, but the founder's not tweeting, so we're done. And it definitely does need to change. It sounds like you guys are moving in the right direction to sort of enable that.
Yeah, that's how I run Met as well. So I'm sort of self-selecting for people who follow Met, already follow these sort of principles.
Yeah.
One
So
thing
sorry, go ahead, Wood. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, one thing I wanted to talk about briefly was a lot of like our listeners are meme coin traders, and I wouldn't call them the most sophisticated people, but some of
whoa
you guys are sophisticated. I'm projecting, guys. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. But back to what I was getting to is a lot of like the smartest guys I know use Meteora pools to exit large positions, to farm new farm volume on new launches, and they make a killing doing it. And they make a killing doing it because there's not a lot of people doing it. There are and the people who do it are doing it in huge volume, right? And they're really good at it. But like people like I've never done it before. Swizzle, I don't know if you've done it before. Sats, have you done it before?
I have, yeah, I have.
You have?
I have.
I've tried
my one of my meme coin positions, which I won't mention which one, but all through a Meteora pool. And,
an existing one right now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess like I've done it. I've like gone on the site before, and I've done. I take it back. I did it with Flog back in the day for like a smaller amount of it. But I guess like, is there any like because most people are trading on FOMO nowadays. You've heard of FOMO. People are there. They're not. They're just they're there, and that's a great app for people. But is there like a way you guys are trying to reach out and like market to more retail traders with your pools and getting more people on there?
Yeah, I think the way I get this is quite interesting. So the skill set of which allows you to be a great LP and a great meme coin trader is the same. It's the ability to spot tokens that will have retail interest, volume that will go out and stuff. The problem is that the US is extremely different. So a lot of people, 90% of meme coin traders have not heard about LPing, or think LPing is different, or think LPing is scary. My goal this year is to make LPing feel exactly like trading. That's my goal. So if you go to Meteora AG today, you'll see a discovery page that reminds you of ICMs like terminal discovery. If you see Meteora's P&L systems, you'll use exactly how a P&L of a token position would look like. We are basically trying to make the LPing experience feel like the trading experience. And like the way I would say is that like end of 2026, I want people to forget what impermanent loss is. I want people to just see whether the LP position is green or red. I mean, have you guys heard of impermanent loss yourself?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second, if you could explain, Soju, because I think a lot of people like fundamentally misunderstand what that is. That it's not really a loss, right? But like it's I think some people hear about the concept and then it kind of scares them away because they're just thinking of those buzzwords and they're like, well, I don't want to do that. But can you just like explain the concept and then maybe like why it's a little bit misunderstood and why you're also combating against it?
Yeah, so like I talked to a lot of my friends. I'm like, bro, why don't you try LPing? Then my friend would be like, oh, but wouldn't I get back my impermanent loss? Man has never LP before, but that was his immediate response. Impermanent loss, simply put, is the difference between if you just held the token compared to LP. So if you bought SOL and went long, or you bought SOL and LP. Does that difference matters? I don't think the difference matters at all. I think all we care about is our P&L. Are we red or are we green? The problem with impermanent loss is that it makes you always doubt yourself. You look at your LP and you do not know whether you are red or green. And when you do not know whether you are red or green, the assumption is you are red. for all risk. So one thing that my team is actively trying to do now is that we're trying to bring the normal P&Ls that you see on tokens to LP positions. So you just look at your P&L as like, I'm up, I'm down, full stop. Like, that's why I want to destroy it. That's what I want to change this year. Because the thing is simple, is that if you are a power LP user, you understand LP, and you already use Meteora. To let Meteora grow, we need to bring in everybody who trades, because everybody in crypto is a trader, but not every trader is an LP. Like, the subset is actually like 10 times smaller. Out of 10 people who trade, probably will be 1% LPs. So I need to 10x my TAM for Meteora. So if you open Meteora today, you will realize that you keep looking like a trading terminal and not an LP terminal. And we are happy to work with anyone else to plug in like LP into their interface as well. So I think like plug in Meteora LP into that interface. So if FOMO wants to integrate it, they can do it. Yeah.
So basically, when you're LPing on Meteora, I'm gonna try as the normie, inexperienced LP user. Let me try to explain it, and then tell me like where I have it wrong and what the misconceptions are. So basically, if you're LPing on Meteora, you're setting a range. You say, okay, the token is at 20 million market cap. I'm gonna set a range where I have cash and I have the token. I'll have the range set between 15 to 30 million or something like that. And as it scales up, I think you can do dynamic or fixed, right? As it scales up higher, once it hits those levels, it's going to smoothly basically provide liquidity and sell out of the token. And then if the token goes lower, you're going to take your cash side and you're going to add tokens. So basically, you're providing a value to the token. You're providing liquidity within the range to make buys and sells for other people more smooth and less slippage. And then that impermanent loss is basically, say the token rips up 50%, it's just going to sell out of all your token. So you didn't lose anything. You just sold at that level that you can set manually, right? Like you can decide where your range is. Did I get that right? Is that a simple breakdown?
Yeah, you got that perfectly right. But in the easier way that I've been trying to tell people is that if you think a coin is going to go up, you buy. If this coin is going to go down, you sell. Right? Everyone knows this shit, right? Yeah. So everyone knows this. If you think the coin is going to go down and then up and then up, or up and then down in the same bots, then you LP. That's it.
Right.
So that's the mental model I want to get people to.
That's much better than what I said, actually. That's a lot more straightforward.
That's all you need to know. Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Man, we need to do an app where fucking Swizzle works out Meteora, man. That would be fucking generating.
It'll be right after. It's gonna be right after the one we bring on some trench deployer on Axiom, and he's gonna teach me how to bundle and deploy and then vamp myself and all that. We'll do the Meteora LP one after that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just kind of scarred on impermanent loss from ETH DeFi last cycle because there were so many like Ponzi farms where you would LP to get like 2,000% APY, and then you would you'd LP, and then you would just get absolutely crushed on it within like 48 hours. And so I think like you're fighting against that sentiment from last cycle a little bit too. Is that correct?
Yes, fully agreed. I was there.
Yeah. Like, because personally, that's it for me. Like, I can tell you 20 different times when I got screwed LPing last cycle. And so now I'm like, do I want to LP a meme coin, which is like can go up 70% or down 70% in a day? Like, I don't know. So I think understanding how to use the ranges, which didn't exist last cycle that I can remember, there's a huge value add that makes it a lot easier and a lot more beneficial to like the everyday user. And I think and I think like that P&L thing is absolutely brilliant. Like having to manually calculate how many tokens you're up or down on old LP farms was such an absolute clusterfuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, Sats.
Yeah, I do. Complete shambles. I made a loss in that. I made a lot in that time, and then I also lost a lot in a very, very quick time. And it was also a lot of paper gains. Yeah, you thought you were up trillions, but really you were up 10. Yeah.
When has that ever happened in crypto? I can't think of another time.
Yeah, all the time at the moment, man. All the time. Liquidity is still very, very thin in the space, it feels, especially in the trenches. But yeah, it's been interesting, but it does feel like liquidity is still frothing around.
Everyone's hiding out in hype right now.
Yeah,
hype has been so strong.
It's only
apparently they're hiding in Zech now.
Yeah,
after they heard I sold.
After they heard you sold, man.
And now it's 23. Wow.
Yeah. Look at this candle. The candle's I don't know if we can pull it up, but the candle's insane. If I could timestamp my sells, it would be truly impressive work, actually.
What, did you actually exit like 189?
Probably around like 200, but I mean,
yeah, man, that's tough. It's tough.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, I feel like Soju. I know you were in. Weren't you in Malaysia with the Jupiter guys for the? Yeah, I feel like you missed a lot of this downturn being there. I saw.
Oh yeah, what is the? It's called. It was called Cat Lumpur or
Cat Lumpur, yeah.
It was basically like Jupiter's annual event. Like, I know you work closely with Meow and all that. Like, what's the? Did they have new products they were displaying, or what was the whole thing with that event?
Cat Lumpur is just their yearly celebration of the community is freaking crazy. I think Jupiter's events are the only ones where retail users show up in full force. I think this year we had like almost 2,000 or almost 3,000 like users show up. So we're talking about users, those people who just use DeFi every day. This is freaking crazy. That's where we unveiled our roadmap to make Meteora feel like trading, because I mean Jupiter's community are all traders, and then half of the things that we use are powered by Jupiter. So that's pretty fun. I think their biggest announcement was that they had a $35 million like strategic investment at market price. So it was like their OTC round but without a discount. So that was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, what they like, but is it like buybacks of the token? Like, so they're just using 35 mil to buy back the token, yeah?
No, another investor like did an OTC round but without a discount. Parafy.
Okay.
Which is pretty damn bullish, yeah. I don't work at Jupiter anymore, so it's like harder for me to tell what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that leads me to an interesting point around buybacks, and around like buybacks of coins, and a lot of people argue that it's not really like, you can't really see it in the chart sometimes, and sometimes it's a bit useless, and teams sometimes waste money on it. But what's your thoughts there? I know, like, I think the key example is probably the one the anti-buyback crew uses, the pump fund chart. Yeah, and obviously they're doing a lot of buybacks, and it's not really making a lot of difference to the chart. But yeah, what's your thoughts around that?
I think the funny answer is that like if you do buybacks on the chart to go up, then there's been something wrong because it doesn't go up.
Yeah.
So we do buybacks to just buy the token. So at least if the price doesn't go up, you still have the token in your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way we run Meteora is a way a public company runs. We want to run Meteora like a public company, because ultimately that's where we want to be. So what does a public company do? A public company builds cash, decides whether to invest for the future, or the buyback is token or buyback is share, with a goal of improving earnings per share. So you either increase earnings or you reduce number of shares. So that's how I run Meteora. I build out a lot of money from our revenues. I think with my team, is it worth hiring 10 engineers, building out a new product in the hopes of like $20 million a year? Or is it better to just buy back the token and then the revenue per token will go up? So that's how we do it. Yeah, that's it.
I like that mentality.
We do it discretionary. So even if the price doesn't go up, I will look at the earnings per token. I'll be like, okay, there's a fundamental improvement here.
Yeah. No, I like that mentality. I feel like it's a lot. That's one a lot of founders should adopt, like running it like an actual company, like a Web2 company.
Yeah, that's what we do. We want to build up the investor base that understands how this works. And we want to build the systems that sort of help companies become Web2 equity companies, which is like Bedrock. And then I will walk what I talk. So I will run Meteora the same way. Yeah.
No, I like
that.
that.
That's the overall thinking. Yeah.
I like that.
I thought a lot too. I understand why XY is a huge net bull. You know XY, right, Soju?
Yes, I know XY. Yes.
He's a very big fan of yours.
Yeah, he shows us Meteora a lot.
Nearly every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just trying to make crypto a better place, right? Make tokens great again. has to be done in many different ways. Yeah.
You guys saw a lot of success when Bags was big. Obviously, like that was a big boom for you guys. What is your opinions on the Bags product and where that is today? Obviously, there's been a lot of problems regarding it. A lot of problems raised of people basically hunting down devs to deploy for them. But yeah, it was very good for you guys in that short term. But yeah, what's your thoughts on how Bags?
Could you also just backtrack? Like, what's the relationship with Bags? You guys, they kind of power everything through you. Is that right? Or
yeah. So ultimately, I think another way of solving a token game is rate of experimentation. We need to try as much shit as possible to make things work. So I'm very on the ball with working with teams like who have good ideas to try shit. I would classify the best team as the best in this regard, in that there are a team of go-getters who come up with the crazy ideas and the ability to implement them. Quite similar to the Bomb Fund team actually. And I think our goal is to help them hit harder. So how we do it is that like we extract away most of the complex detail like the AMM routing. So you know that when you press the buy button will work. And then they will focus on like fee sharing, all that kind of shit. I'm a fan of their model because I believe that that's how you onboard creators. I actually think that their model also works very well with Bedrock. So one idea that we are going to work on is that instead of you can just claim the fees and walk away, the claiming the fees button is tied to the tokenization and the transfer of IP. So you can only claim fees if you transfer the IP into the Bedrock infra. So you see the power of money, and then it's like the more it grows, the more you're like, maybe I should do it. And then one day you press it, and it becomes less of like, oh my god, the dev is interested, and more of like the token now actually owns the damn thing that that is talking about, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, my goal is to push them harder and experiment shit faster. So Bats is a top team that we got because they're always ready to try shit with us. Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that. I think I kind of agree. Like after joining Bonkfun as well, it's just about trying new shit. And like I think Nom has it in his bio. Like you move fast and you break shit, and you see what happens. And I think that is the best way to operate. Instead of getting stagnant and letting things get on top of you. But yeah, that's kind of our plan at Bonkfun as well, just to fucking try things. And some things are going to land, some things that don't. But yeah, I've got a lot of time for Finn and what he does. I think he's great. I do think he was onto something with the bags meta. It just needs some refining. But yeah.
Yeah. I think we need the tokens to actually own the entity, the IP, and then we also need better education. So I'm hoping to build out like a deployer academy. I'm sort of figuring out myself too with my own damn coin net. I hope we can help more people be able to run coins well. Like it's not easy for sure. I thought I was ready, and then when Matt launched, I was like, okay, maybe I was not as ready as I thought.
Yeah, it changes the whole game then. Like as soon as you launch a token, it changes the whole mentality around the product, and then so everyone ties the price to the quality of the product. And if it's going down, people are like, like it's a crazy reality we live in, really. But yeah, I admire you guys, and I think you're doing a great job running the fucking Met token. I think your mentality is great around it. Probably one of the best I've heard. So.
Yeah, I think one lesson, one thing I would write in the book if I were to write one would be champion consistently and find the people who believe in it. There are other people who don't believe in it, and you're gonna run into them all the time, but it's okay. Yeah,
you can't convince everyone. You can't convince
everyone. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, to kind of go back, we were talking about Samani and him kind of shit talking crypto. He launched a massive DAT for Solana, obviously, which based on yesterday's price action, kind of looks like it was a massive, maybe an exit vehicle for a lot of early token holders or FTX state buyers. What has been what has been your opinion of DATs entering the crypto market, and has Met ever been approached to launch one before?
I've thought very hard about launching a DAT to help deal with the high certainty supply at TGE, and sort of start in a TradFi liquidity to do it. I personally think that DATs are a scam. That's it, simply put. But I think very few DATs will do well. but the DApps that do well are the ones that can leverage their position to do ecosystem good, to build ecosystem public goods, to develop the technology, sort of like being like a publicly owned Jump. Like, okay, so I think that Jump Crypto, they received grants from Solana to build Fire Dancer. They are a key player in the chain. They sort of like help the chain get to where they are today. I believe that can be sort of like that for crypto, for L1 or a chain, but publicly listed, so anyone can be a part of it. But that's going to be like 2% of all the debts, or 1% if you're
Right.
lucky.
Right.
To leave an impact beyond just buying the token is very small. And I said this many times on Twitter, but Tal Samani is probably like one of the most best VCs to have on our side. I think one thing that I'm a bit sad about at Meteora sometimes is that I don't have any investors. My investors are all Alameda and others, and they're all dead. So I wish I have someone like Tal Samani to like champion Meteora with me. Like, our ideas, the ideas that we're championing, no one champions it with us. So people like him are the best at that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be championing many projects in this space for any longer, it appears.
Yeah. It's a bit shame, yeah.
Yeah, I think your point on the debts, it's like that. What you're talking about is what it is supposed to be, right? Like, there's all this fluff language in all of them. If you read like all their press announcements and documentation, they talk about the underlying asset, and then they kind of like allude to other things, whether they're talking about yield or like helping these projects grow within the space. But then we haven't seen any of them even attempt to execute. It's really just been, okay, they buy the token. And, unfortunately in some, a lot of cases, and there was, if you guys remember with Samani, there was a lot of conversation and debate about like, are they just buying up these tokens so that the people from the foundation with locked tokens can sell? And then that was refuted. But I don't know, man, with Samani leaving now, that's kind of disgusting timing from a coincidence standpoint. It's tough to interpret that. Like, this is a big blow, because this is like Soju said, one of the most celebrated and popular and successful VCs in the space, who has really backed Solana specifically. And then walking away at a time like this is a little alarming. I don't know. What do you guys make of it? Like,
yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. Because like everyone says, he is did lead one of the best VCs in the space. A lot of people are very, very confident in. But yeah, we've had a lot of tough news this week. I think, not to pivot straight away, but the fucking just why it's on my mind, the L2 tweet from Vitalik.
Right.
Like, that's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. And I don't know where that leaves a lot of the L2s, like Monad and things like that. I just think it leaves them in a bit of a tough spot. And there's so many of them. And I feel like price hasn't really reflected what's happened yet. Maybe I'm overshooting it, but yeah, what do you guys think on that?
The last thing I want to say on VCs, just, I know that's not exactly related to the Vitalik thing, but Soju, like, I'm just thinking about you and what you said about, like, you haven't had traditional VCs with you. You've got, people who have experience that have kind of helped give you guidance, but you haven't had VCs. Like, there's definitely pros and cons to it. I feel like maybe that's one of the things that can be frustrating. Like, you don't have that institutional backing to like help create this like pump effect on the token, which is what I think a lot of these guys help with. But the good ones will give, value add and help advise. There's a lot of like this VC support that it's just a lot of bullshit you have to deal with too. And I think I don't know, we don't know you well, but I do see like the fact that you guys have just continued to like build things that you believe to be important and like have created this sick product is like, I think that's one of the advantages of being able to operate a little bit more agile and lean, and you're not really having to report to any of these VCs, which is one of the like kind of like fundamental ideological things with the crypto industry as a whole too, is like you guys are just going out there using the internet and building shit, and I think there's a conversation to be had about like, yes, there's some really good VCs, but there's a lot that are adding the wrong type of value to the space. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you guys think about that or talk about that though.
I think we talk about it quite a lot, and then it goes back to my previous point, is that I want to make the ones that add value rich and the ones that don't add value poor.
Fuck yeah.
Because as that happens, then more and more people will be like, okay, I can launch a coin on crypto, I can have access to this amazing audience who will 10x my growth, I can access to these people who can help me in real life. Like, these are the core pillars of the world I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
So I need to get us there. So what I'm doing now is that Meteor, we have a very strong IR function, which means we talk to a lot of people who like to buy tokens on the market. Defiance, Liquid, Verify, Brevin Howard. We talk to all of them, and we sort of help them build an understanding of Meteora, crypto assets, Met token, and we even run IR functions for our own partners. So like, if you have a coin that's live on Meteora, your coin will be on our pitch deck. So our pitch deck will be Met token and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G that you can also view on Meteora. We have Cat, we have Duke, we have all these big players. And I want to build that core community of liquid funds that support us and also support our teams. And we want to self-select for the ones that are very value attractive. Because what I realized is that the liquid funds, a lot of them are actually value additive. Yeah. I think there's a much stronger self-selecting force there where like, if you are a shitty liquid fund, you die faster. And if you are a shitty VC, you die slower, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very refreshing actually. So that's how we are solving that problem. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I hate to go back to these stats, but I do think that the unwind of these things is going to be so fucking ugly, and it's gonna really expose and make a lot of these VCs who are predatory end up in a bad spot or in a bad light, because like a lot of these things were ran by people who are promoted by people who had cheap tokens or a lot of tokens and needed an exit in some way, shape, or form. And then when these things have to unwind, like, I mean, I'm going to say Tom Lee because he's down $9 billion and that's ridiculous. But like when he starts to unwind his ETH position at some point, like that's just not going to reflect well amongst in crypto onto the TradFi world and then also the VC world that has participated in the space. So I think we're kind of like seeing that in real time. And we'll see. Maybe that helps to expedite the process. Do you see Met pivoting to this dual launch? So the future of Met is obviously LPing and liquidity pools, but this launchpad function. What do you think is? I don't know. I mean, is the launchpad function just as important to you as the liquidity portion? Do you think going forward, like, do you think that has a bigger moat? Like, you look at the success of like a pump fund or whatever. We saw Pasternak run Launchcoin to 400 million. Like that had obviously had huge success. Do you view yourself like fully kind of focusing on that in 2026?
I would say that the two things I need to do in 2026 is to make LPing feel like training to onboard 10 times more users and to also solve the tokens game, which is the launchpad side. If you ask what is more important to me, I would say that personally what's more important to me is fixing tokens, because without quality tokens with quality volume, all the shit I'm doing on the LP side will not work. And I'm blessed to have a very strong team, and 90% of Meteora team is focused on like the LP tech and the LP army. So that only leaves me and my Bedrock team and a few like capable people to tackle the launchpad game. And I think tokens that go up solve all problems. So that's why I spend all my time. Yeah.
You know that. I mean, so it's interesting to hear that. So you're basically sitting here saying there's no one launching quality tokens. My business survives off of people launching quality tokens that go up. Fuck, I need to build a place that can launch quality tokens for my own business because no one else is fucking doing it. Is that correct, kind of?
The small asterisk I would say is that everybody wants to launch quality tokens, but everybody run into the same problems. We will solve those problems in a way that benefits everybody, which is every Meteora partner, and then every Meteora partner can then do better and launch better coins. That's how I look at it. So for example, market cap training fees. Market cap training fees is probably the most obvious idea of all time, and I'm embarrassed it took me so long to ship it. But now we have market cap training fees, and now every Meteora partner can create coins that have fees that go down as the market cap goes up. We all have this problem where like coins don't go past 100 million anymore, right? But with much higher trading fees, they can, because every time the coin goes up a bit, the barriers for the coin to go higher drops and it can go up more. So that's the idea. And when I do that for 20 partners, not one team, not myself. So as long as I'm not running the launchpad, which I never intend to do so, we can scale up our experimentation a lot faster. We can focus on what matters to our partners, and our partners can focus on their businesses, which is launching quality coins. Yeah. So that's the balance we have. So like we will never build a launchpad. Yeah.
No, I like
Cool.
that.
I like that a lot. All right. Well, it was great chatting with you, Soju. I love getting to know you, chatting about your product. Learned a lot today.
Yeah,
I always
100%.
knew I knew you guys had a killer product, but it was great to chat and like learn more about it and really understand why like a lot of really smart people I know really, really love your product and what you guys are building. And I came away with a similar perception. So,
And I'm in, by the way. I'm gonna start. I've said it before, but I'm gonna start LPing with Meteora.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
Can you please videotape this?
Yeah, honestly, Swizzle versus LPs, man.
Well, now I can just hit up my guy if I'm having issues. I'll just get Soju on
Soju, the
phone.
personal help
Hey
desk.
man,
I'm
what is
sure-
this? What does this button
sure
do?
you
Okay.
I answered that for a lot of people. Feel free to message me. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, hopefully, we'll be back Tuesday, 12 p.m. Hopefully prices will be better, guys. Hopefully you don't see the Met token price dump another 20%.
Yeah.
And if you do,
Hopefully.
I hope that relatively it's better. That's all I could say. Cool, guys. Thanks again, Soju, for your time. Sat, Swizzle, we'll be back Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, have a good weekend, guys.